Okay, let's do this. So, this is chapter 1 exam in algebra class, solving equations. So, I think there's just 10 problems in this little test. Pretty easy. You guys would do well. Anyway, let's do this. So, to solve for x, we first want to undo the 7 here. So, the inverse of plus 7 is going to be minus 7. So, let's minus 7 to both sides. Then we have 3x is equal to 19 minus 7 is 12. And then to solve for x, we have to undo this 3. It's 3 times x times 3. So to undo, multiply by 3, we divide by 3. And then you have x is equal to 4. There you go. Easy peasy. Okay, let's try number 2. Solving for x here. We first want to undo that negative 13. So the inverse of negative 13 is positive 13. I'm going to add 13 to both sides. You have 2x is greater than, what is that, 16. 3 plus 13 is 16. That's right. And then to continue to solve for x, we have to undo the multiply by 2. So the inverse of multiply is divide. So the inverse of multiply by 2 is divide by 2. And then 2 over 2 is 1. It's just 1x. And that's equal to 16 over 2, and that's 8. So 1x is equal to 8, or x is equal to 8. There we go. Now let's try number 3. So here's number 3. X is divided by 4 minus 3 is equal to 5. So there's a couple of strategies. You can multiply through by negative 4 to get rid of that this denominator, this fraction. And that's totally legit. But it might be easier if we get rid of this 3 first. This way we do it smaller numbers. Smaller numbers is nicer. So let's undo minus 3. And that would be plus 3. So we add 3 to both sides. We have 8 is equal to x divided by negative 4. So now is a good time to multiply by negative 4. You multiply this by negative 4, you multiply that by negative 4. So multiply both sides by negative 4. So negative 4 is the same thing as negative 4 over 1. You can see that negative 4 over negative 4 reduces. Or what you can do is that you just multiply these fractions together. You have negative 4 times x, that's negative 4x. And 1 times negative 4, that's negative 4. Of course, this is reduced onto x. And then on this side, we have negative 32. So really, negative 4 over negative 4 reduces down to 1, which is 1x. And 1x is equal to negative 32. So that just means x is equal to negative 32. There you go. Easy peasy. Okay, that was 3. Let's go on to number 4. So here is number 4. We want to solve for x. Right now, x plus 6 divided by 5 is equal to 2. So we can undo it by undo this divide by 5 and add 6 by multiply both sides by 5. So you multiply this by 5, and you multiply this by 5. And then you can see that 5 over 5 reduces down to 1. So 1 times x plus 6 is x plus 6. And on the right hand side, you have 2 times 5, which is 10. So to solve for x, we have to undo that plus 6. So plus 6 minus 6, undo. And then that becomes 0, and x is equal to 10 minus 6, which is 4. So x is 4. There you go. And then for number 5. So we have 5x minus 9 is equal to 2x plus 12. We have x on both sides. Now, some of you might be thinking, add 9 to both sides. That's legit. Except, what I really like to do is to get the variables to one side. So I have 2x here, I have 5x here. I like to prefer to subtract the one with a smaller coefficient. So this x has a 2, this x has a coefficient of 5. So this is a smaller coefficient. So I'm going to minus 2x here and then minus 2x here. So in case you're wondering, that's subtraction property of equality. So subtraction property of equality just means I'm allowed to subtract the same number to both sides of the equation and still is a legit equation. So once we apply that process, 2x minus 2x is 0. We have 12 on this side. And then on this side, 5x minus 2x, that's like 3x. And then that's minus 9. And that's equal to 12. So we can solve this equation in 2 steps. The first step is to undo that minus 9. So we're going to add 9 to both sides. And then we have 3x is equal to 21. This 12 plus 9 is 21. And then to solve for x, we have to undo that 3. It's being multiplied by 3. Inverse of multiplied by 3 is divided by 3. So 3 over 3 is 1. That's 1x is equal to 21 divided by 3. That's equal to 7. Okay, we're doing quite good. This is quite fast. So let's move on to number 6. So we have 3x plus 4 is equal to 12 plus 3x. Oh, this is an interesting problem. Look, you have 3x here, you have 3x here. So what happens if we minus 3x to both sides? We end up with 4 is equal to 12 because 3x minus 3x is equal to 0. Now, 4 is equal to 12. No, that is not true. Of course 4 is not equal to 12. So this problem, you notice how the x disappears. We lost the variable, no variable, and you end up with something that is not true. So if that's the case, you say x has no solution. It has no solution. It is impossible to solve for this equation. Because this equation, well, it's not true. This is not an equation. Not at all. This is an inequation. 4 is not equal to 12. So, no solution. Okay, I think there's a back page, right? Maybe 4 more problems. So let's turn the page. It is 4 more problems. Alright, let's knock out number 7. So we have to solve for the variable y. I can see 6 is multiplying this business, so we have to distribute distributive property. So 12y plus 6, this is unchanged. 6 times 2y, 6 times 2 is 12, that's 12y. And then 6 times the 1. 6 times the 1, that's going to be 6. And then, how interesting is that? 12y plus 6 is equal to 12y plus 6. Well, of course, it's the same thing. So when we try to solve for this, we can get the y by itself, maybe. We can minus 12 to both sides. But if we do that, we end up with the y disappearing, and we have 6 is equal to 6. Which is true. This is true. Except we still don't have our variable y. So y is equal to what? Y is all real numbers. So that means any number you put in for y, it's going to be true. Like y is equal to 5. That's correct. Negative 5? Also correct. 2,000? Yes. 5,000? Yes. Pi. Whatever you like. So if you're super cool, you write y is an element of real numbers. This is a little bit advanced notation, but I think you can understand this. Y is an element of all real numbers. Y is all real numbers. Any number that is on the number line, 0, 1, 2, any numbers in between, the whole thing, it's all legit. Y could be whatever you like. All right, number 8. We have an absolute value for x minus 5 is equal to 19. Now, an absolute value is always a positive number. So whatever is inside, it could be 19, but it could also be negative 19. Okay, so what we do is that once we have the absolute value business by itself, which we do, we can make two equations. One is pretty normal. The other one, a little bit weird. So let's do the normal one. Whatever is inside the absolute value sign, 4x minus 5, and that's equal to 19. Then the weird is going to be 4x minus 5 is equal to, can you guess what's weird? Negative 19. Okay, normal, weird, normal, weird. We can solve for x by adding 5 to both sides. That's gone. We have 4x on this side, and we have 19 plus 5 is 24. Then to solve for x, we have to undo being multiplied by 4. That will be divided by 4. And x is equal to 6. Oh, goodness. 4 times 6 is 24. 24 divided by 4 is 6. Yeah, that's legit. Okay, so that's the normal equation. Let's do the weird. We're going to add 5 to both sides. And we have 4x on this side. And we have, that's going to be negative 14. The signs are different, so we subtract. 19 minus 5 is 14, but it's negative 14 because the negative 19 has the bigger absolute value. So it takes on a negative sign. Finally, to solve for x, we divide both sides by 4. Where x is equal to, but we can reduce this, can't we? They both have a common factor of 2. So you divide negative 14 by 2, you get negative 7. You divide 4 by 2, you get 2. And there's your answer. Now, if you're uncomfortable with leaving it as a fraction like this, we can make it into a mixed fraction. Let me show you how to do it. So 7 divided by 2 is 7 divided by 2, like so. So 2 goes into 7, 3 times. 2 times 3 is 6. And then we minus. 7 minus 6 is 1. So 7 over 2 is going to be 3 with a remainder of 1 out of 2. So x is equal to negative 3 and 1 half. There we go. 2 more problems and then we are done. Let's do it. Number 9. So we have to get the absolute value business by itself. Right now it's being multiplied by negative 4. Now, don't distribute it in here. It would not be correct. If it was a positive number, then you have a better chance of doing it. Or recommendations is you don't do it at all. Because if you distribute here, it's going to be all wrong. Now, negative 4 is being multiplied by that. So to undo that negative 4, why don't we divide by negative 4? And then negative 4 over negative 4 is 1. You have the absolute value of 8 minus 5x is equal to negative 3. So from here, if you're thinking we should make one normal and one weird, you should not do that. No. Why? Why don't we make a normal and why don't we make a weird? Because this problem here is a lie. There's no solution to this because absolute value of something has got to be a positive number. So you see a negative here, it's a trap. So in this case, x has no solution. So because it is impossible for an absolute value to be a negative number. It cannot be a negative number. It has to be positive. Okay, one last problem. This is a formula for circumference of a circle. That's the distance all the way around the circle. You multiply 2 times pi 3.14 by the radius and you get the circumference. So we want to solve for r. There's r. So we have to undo multiply by 2 and multiply by pi. So we divide by 2 and we divide by pi. So we divide by 2 pi. 2 over 2 is 1, pi over pi is 1, all that's left is r, and that's equal to circumference over 2 pi, or radius is circumference over 2 pi. Maybe you prefer that I write this way. At any rate, we are done with the 10 problems. So thank you for your attention. You might want to watch this more than a couple of times. And then take the test again. Okay. Bye-bye, everybody.